All right, folks, welcome to the Georgia Canine Campfire. We're not going to be doing a campfire this afternoon. What I'm going to do is talk a little bit about trailing leads and how we make them, how we maintain them, and some of the options for them. First off, no two trailing leads are alike. Personally, I prefer leather better than any other type of lead, simply for the feel and the connection that you get to the dog. We are the first ones to come out with this particular type of long lead. This is my 30-footer. This lead right here is actually 20 years old now, as is the Carabiner that I put on it so long ago. What's really cool about this lead is how supple it is. I mean, you can actually just ball this thing up into a nice ball and literally put it in your pocket. It's so soft, but yet it's strong. You can tow a car with it. One of the reasons why it's lasted so long is that I maintain it. So just like with any leather product, every now and then you got to put some good conditioner on it. How do you get that way? Well, the conditioner that we use for it is neat's foot oil. Neat's foot oil is all natural, and what we do is we actually take just a little bit, put it in the cap, and then you can just apply it with your fingers to the leather, just like this, and rub it in. You only really need to do this a couple times a year, or if the lead gets super wet and you have to dry it out, then it's a good idea to oil it. Really, that's about it. Neat's foot oil is super inexpensive, and as far as I'm concerned, the best conditioner for the job. So let's talk about our leads. We have a before and we have an after. This is before use. This is a brand new lead that was just made. This is a 30-footer, and as you can see, it's pretty stiff. Okay, this is the way it comes out. This lead is actually 9.5 millimeters in diameter. It's a pretty thick lead, and honestly, this is what separates our leads from the competitors who've come out afterwards. Most of them are using a smaller diameter leather that's considerably softer. This stuff is more expensive by the spool. It costs us a lot more money to actually obtain it and to make it. So realistically speaking, what separates our harnesses, or I should say our leads, right off the bat is going to be the thickness and the density of the leather. This stuff is really thick and really hard right out of the gate. Now, we apply neat's foot oil immediately to it prior to it being shipped out. So you're going to get a little softening and a little bit of conditioning. But honestly, the best way to condition this lead is by using it as much as you can and as often as you can. It's not going to lose this, it's not going to become pliable until you can actually have used it for a while and get it out there on the end of, get a dog out there on the end of it. The used lead right here, on the other hand, as you can see, is super pliable and super soft. And honestly, once you feel a dog on the end of this lead, you're never going to want to use anything else. And one of the cool things about leather is that it has a tendency not to knot. Nylon or the rubber products have a tendency to get really tight knots that are very difficult to get out. Now, our leads come stock usually with just a Carabiner. I like to use the Carabiner because it gives me something large to grab a hold of close to the buckle end of the dog. I can get my fingers in here, I can hold on to the dog this way as he's right there on the harness. The other thing I like about the Carabiner is it's made out of aluminum and super light. Now this Carabiner is 20 years old. It's seen a lot of use, probably at least 3,000 trails. I can't say how many trails I've been on, but thousands. This is a wonderful clip. It's actually what I prefer. All right, so nowadays what we're doing is we're putting on a new generation Carabiner. Slightly different, although it's working just the same. Made out of super lightweight aluminum. As a matter of fact, I think this is even lighter than the original I had from 20 years ago. Guaranteed to get years and years of use. This is going to outlive your dog. Really a good product. I prefer this. One of the reasons why I like the Carabiner so much is the ability to grip it right next to the buckle of the dog when you need to hold on to something. Now, this is not your only option. We can put any buckle that you want in or on your lead within reason. We actually have 3 different types of buckles. These 2 are called panic buckles, and this one is just your standard clip. Okay, so I'm going to go over each one. First off, clips and buckles are not equal. It's really, really important that when you have something on the business end of your lead, that it's good, high quality product. Now this brass that we're using is all Italian brass. It's super strong. It's not pot metal that's going to break. It's going to have a nice tight spring. Now this standard clip is what you see on most leashes. The one that comes stock on all our leads, if you choose to have it, is going to be a 5/8 inch buckle or clip. The other type of clip that we use are the panic clips. Now we have two types. Now these are going to be a little bit heavier than the aluminum carabiners, and it's because they're made out of brass. Super high-end clip, but what's nice about these is you can get a fast release with just a slight little twist and turn. Okay, so the business end of this is right here. This is what clips onto the D-ring of the harness, and this barrel right here rotates, and as it rotates, this open end comes out and then the lead comes apart. I'll kind of give you an idea of how we do that. Just like this, business end, not coming off, quick rotation, and it pops right off. A lot of people like these. They're super heavy duty. They're going to last forever. It is an option, but just understand that it's a little bit heavier. The other type of panic clip is going to be a drawback type. And this is where you actually pull back on the barrel, straight back, and it releases a lever, just like this. No way this thing is coming out with actually pulling on it, but when you do pull on it, it pops off immediately, thus the term panic clip. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is the braiding. Every single lead here that we have comes on 100-foot spools. And one of the things that we're doing when we're looking at it is for any imperfections there might be in the leather. The problem with a lot of the different leather products is they're going to have a lot of imperfections throughout. You got to remember, this was a hide of a living cow at one time, and there's going to be places where it might be thinner or thicker. So one of the things we have to do is inspect this inch by inch to make sure there's no weak spots or no really thin spots. If there are, we cut it out. And this is why we don't always get more than one 30-foot lead out of a 100-foot spool. Now, the way we make these handles is by braiding it. Okay, we basically have a nice 3-part braid that we put on here. This is all done by hand here at our South Carolina facility. If you have any questions, just give us a call. I hope this gives you a little insight as to how our leads work and how to make some good decisions.